for joining me today to celebrate the Mount Madonna School class of 2020. This is a remarkable group of young individuals. As part of our tradition, each senior is introduced by a faculty member. The seniors have no idea of who is going to introduce them. It is now my honor to introduce Dr. Tiffany Wayne to deliver the invocation.
Hello, Mount Madonna School, class of 2020. I greet you at the beginning of a great life. And I am honored to offer this invocation for your graduation ceremony. An invocation, in case you're wondering, is a formal summoning, traditionally invoking a spiritual authority or guide to sanction and inspire the event or journey about to occur. In classical literature, an invocation to the muses might precede the telling of an epic poem, asking the muses for the inspiration as well as the knowledge and skill to tell the story. Your epic Mount Madonna story may not be ending the way you thought or hoped so. But this is not truly an ending. It is also the middle of your story. There will be a before, a during, and an after Mount Madonna when you tell your story. And it is also a new beginning, a commencement of adult life. So I hereby invoke the muses to help all of us here as a community of faculty and students to tell your stories today. Let us call upon the muses of history and memory, of comedy and tragedy, and the muses of dance and song. All are needed to tell this unique story of the time that you spent on this mountain with these particular people. I invoke all of the muses to help us hold close and honor your individual stories so that together we can remember the epic poem of your journey. We greet you at the beginning of your great life.
Every time I feel this way, this old familiar sinking, I will lay my troubles down by the water, where the river will never run dry. Hallelujah. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. By and by I will lay my troubles down by the water, where the river will never run dry. It's been said, and I do believe, as you ask, so shall you receive. So take from me these troubles, bring me sweet release, where the river will never run dry. Hallelujah. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. By and by I will lay my troubles down by the water, where the river will never run dry. There is a river in this heart of hearts, with a knowingness of my highest good. I am willing, I will do my part, where the river will never run dry. Hallelujah. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. By and by I will lay my troubles down by the water, where the river will never run dry. Where the river will never run dry. This river will never run dry.
Good morning. and welcome. Welcome graduates and families and students and friends and alumni and faculty and administration. It is an honor to have this opportunity. Though I must admit, the invitation for the keynote caused some pause in the middle of the strangest of strange years. In the middle of a global pandemic, how could I offer some keen advice to our graduates when at times I feel unmoored? Teaching's humbling enough at full strength. And author Aisha Ahmad writes, "No sane person feels good during a global disaster, so be grateful for the discomfort of your sanity." Certainly the pandemic has urged me to be a more empathetic teacher. While in the midst of my own lesson plan scrunching, I had to also understand that my students were undergoing their own journey of adaptation, of some of them really struggling to find the motivation to complete their work to the best of their ability. They were spending long, long hours in front of screens with very little movement. I also have great empathy for our graduates, for you seniors, to have your final year at our school so disrupted, losing out on the beautiful community interaction of the classroom, the athletics, and certainly not being able to go to Washington, D.C. And of course, more personally, the Ramayana. We are not alone in how the pandemic has disrupted our expectations. The pandemic has also reminded us of our own frailty of life and how to function in uncertainty. Author Courtney Martin advises us, tolerating ambiguity requires lightness. The only way to move through a fog of unknown size and shape is to feel our feet on the ground and to walk humbly without a lot of expectation or baggage. So, okay, seniors, we know our world's been turned upside down. What else can I tell you? Tevye in Fiddler on the Roof attends the marriage of his daughter, Tzeitel, to model the tailor, and he asks, what words of wisdom can I give them? How can I help to ease their way? And his wife, Golda, responds, now they must learn from one another, day by day. And we know, seniors, now more than ever, human beings need to depend on one another. We also need to try to appreciate each day. And seniors, we know we need to tell the people we love every day, I love you. And if possible, if we can, just raise our level of awareness for the others, not just the ones in our immediate circle, but in the circles that radiate outside our cluster, that we honor their struggles, that we honor their vulnerabilities, that we are accountable as human beings, and that we learn how to accept and love ourselves for who we are, that we set some positive goals and try our best to attain them, and that somehow in the middle of our busy life, that we take daily time to honor quiet, to simply breathe, and again, honor that silence in the mind, the fullness in the heart, and the solace that the beauty of nature can bring. We are in a transcendent time for the human race. And in this important moment, this rite of passage from young adult to adult, and I am grateful that you are the carriers of change, of new ways of thinking and doing. May you live an honorable and meaningful life filled with integrity and honesty and kindness and compassion and empathy, that we listen with an open heart. You are your poets, your writers, your performers, your artists, your scholars, your athletes, your creative thinkers, your creative innovators and illustrators. You are mischief makers. You're humorous, you're serious. You are defenders of your agency and right to speak your opinion. You're able to hold one another and be held. And now in this magical moment, both literally and virtually, you're surrounded by family and friends and community that love you, that care for you, and want only the best for you as you move forward in life. I want to leave you with a poem, a writing from Jack Kornfield, who is a Buddhist teacher and practitioner. He writes, "Ask your heart, what is my best intention, my most noble aspiration in this difficult time? Your heart will answer. It is time to be the medicine, the uplifting music, the lamp in the darkness. Burst out with love, be a carrier of hope, trust in your goodness and dignity. When others hoard, help. When others deceive, stand up for truth. When others are uncaring or overwhelmed, be kind and respectful." Congratulations, class of 2020. I love you dearly.
Congratulations to Mount Madonna School graduates, class of 2020. It's my honor and joy to read a special card of support and advice to you, written by Baba Haridas. Babaji was a wise teacher who inspired the educators and community members of Mount Madonna to apply the heart of yoga to education and create MMS. He often said, "As soon as someone wants to become a better person, that is the start of yoga." He also taught the fundamentals of yoga, which are applied to education at MMS. Concentration leads to excellence and unlocks creativity. Service leads to self-fulfillment and betterment of society. Sharing positive values leads a community to wellness built on mutual support. These are hallmarks of education at MMS, and they are seen in our administration, faculty, families, and especially in our alumni and in the graduating class that we are honoring today. But Babaji did not only inspire in the abstract. He was devoted to practical application. He worked on the land and physically helped to build the MMS buildings. He taught the value not only of cultivating compassion for those in need, but for working on their behalf. So from our archives of cards that he wrote to Mount Madonna School graduates over the years, I'm going to read this one to you. Congratulations. Education is an austerity in life. It needs a disciplined life. By your austerity and discipline, you have completed the first phase of education. Now you are experienced enough to step into the second phase of education by being responsible for your life. Your boat is on the open ocean. Row it with strength and courage, and learn to use the wind in your favor. May God bless you. Om. Baba Haridas. And now it's time to honor two of our graduates who have especially excelled. The valedictorian and salutatorian, honors that recognize exceptional academic and intellectual accomplishments earned through focused effort and dedication. This year's valedictorian is Anne-May Dasbach Prisk. We'll take a moment so that she can feel your appreciation. This year's salutatorian is Haley Kerr. Again, let's pause and let her receive your silent acknowledgement. Congratulations to both of you, and congratulations to all MMS graduates 2020.
On behalf of our class, Haley and I would like to present the senior gift. The world is going through a very uncertain time right now due to COVID-19, and many of the racial and socioeconomic injustices of our system are coming to light. During these difficult and unprecedented times, we think it is important to lean on and support our community, as well as the broader global community.
Going to Mount Madonna School has given us opportunities to travel the world and gain perspective on our interconnectedness as humans. We hope that through this gift and our future actions, we can make the world a more accepting, compassionate, and equal place.
For our gift, we chose to give to the school's endowment with the intention of assuring the continued prosperity of the school for generations to come.
We also chose to donate to Boccabello, the community we visited this past summer in South Africa, that helps those affected or infected by AIDS, because they are especially impacted by COVID-19 and can benefit greatly from the extra support. Our hope is that by showing you our dedication to donating to these very worthy causes, that we can inspire you to donate as well.
The warm sun kissed the earth to consecrate thy birth, and from this close embrace, thy radiant face sprang into sight a blossoming delight. Through the long summer days, the lover's burning rays shone hot upon thy heart. Thy life was part of this desire, thou passion, flower of fire. From the Soul of the Sunflower by Sarah Everett. The sunflower, the girasol, native to this land, is a flower of passion, nature's sundial, deeply rooted and of complex dimension and design, a life giver, nurturer, a healer, a kaleidoscope of yellow, orange, and red. When I think of this student, this dear friend, and I think of her depth and great dimension, someone who feels deeply, carries with her immense passion, loyalty, and love. She's a natural healer and gives all, never asking or taking, shining and radiant, a reflection of the sun. Cece, my hope for you is that you continue to embrace your marvelous, radiant self, holding space to plunge to great depths, to fortify your roots, then pushing forth, breaking through the hardened earth, rising high to share with all your complexities, your beauty, your radiance, ever turning towards the light.
The first word that comes to mind when I think of Mount Madonna School is love. I saw love demonstrated at this school every single day. Last January, during our winter production of Pippin, is a moment where I felt this word the deepest. On the second night of the show, an event occurred that completely threw me off guard. As soon as I was off the stage, I dissolved into a puddle of tears, and immediately Rachel rushed to my side and I told her what was wrong. She and a few others comforted me while I cried into her shoulder in the wing. Now, if you know anything about Mount Madonna School, you know that word gets out fast and that it spreads like wildfire. But that night, I had never felt so loved and so held by my community. Basically, every single member of the cast approached me at some point in the night and gave me words of sympathy, a hug, or some sort of support in some shape or form. Moments like these define our school, and that night really taught me a lot about the people at Mount Madonna, and it really solidified the fact that there are really good people here. Mount Madonna creates these kinds of people. People that are full of empathy, compassion, and love. People that are curious and want to learn. People that are open and lighthearted. And people that are really good friends. I know that I would be a completely different person if it were not for Mount Madonna. The lessons that I have learned here are things that I would have not learned anywhere else with so much depth. I have learned how to step out of my comfort zone and face my fears. I have learned that it's okay to show emotions and feel everything to its fullest possible extent. I've learned that it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to cocoon up for a little while and hide from the rest of the world. But I've also learned that when you're ready to emerge, the people that you hold closest to your heart are the people that are going to be there. I have learned that I am stronger than I think. I have learned how much I can overcome with the power of my voice and what I can accomplish with the power of writing. So Mount Madonna, thank you for the joy. Being at the school has turned me into a happier person. I am forever going to remember the feeling of jubilation during the time of Ramina, taking walks down to the cafe during school hours, play practice in the gym and the bioluminescence in Catalina, and singing our hearts out with our friends at Timbisa. I would like to thank my teachers for inspiring me every single day to be the best person that I could possibly be, and for teaching me that teachers are far more than just teachers, but they can be really good friends. Thank you to my underclassmen friends. You have made being a senior the absolute sweetest time for me. Thank you to my best friends for long talks that have gone late into the night, laughing until tears, endless amounts of support, and some of the sweetest memories of my entire life. To my brother, for being my best friend since I was 5 years old. And finally, to my parents. I have felt nothing but unconditional love and support from you. Thank you for the best advice. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for teaching me how to listen to my heart. You are my biggest inspirations and role models, and I know that I'm going to want to raise my kids just like how you guys raised me. Last summer, we read a book called Like a Love Story by Abdi Naziman. In the book, the main character describes her uncle, someone who she holds very close to her heart, as love. What she means by this is he is so full of love and hope and joy. He is a light, and he makes people feel worthy. He shows people how to love and how to love themselves. Before this school, I didn't think that a person, place, or thing could be defined as love, but it totally can be. And that's what I think Mount Madonna has been to me. Mount Madonna, you are love. Thank you for the past 6 years. You have been nothing but love.
Fun-loving, quirky, rambunctious, quick to laugh, good sense of humor, easygoing, confident, yet humble. I imagine you, goddess of the wind, bouncing across the stage as the first female Hanuman in the Ramayana. I'm sorry that we can't see that come true this year, and yet you will always be that boisterous, curious, kind, and centered leader in my mind. You study hard and you play volleyball harder. You're a style guru and a TikTok star in the time of COVID. You are the last child of the mountain on May Dasbach Prisk, the last student who has also grown up in the community through your parents' connection to the center, which means you hold within you a symbiotic understanding of balance, selflessness, and devotion. One might say a child's job is to be devoted to their own education, and you, my dear, are the embodiment of a beautiful devotee.
When I was little, my mom used to read me this story called The Empty Pot about a young boy named Ping who worked very hard to make the seeds that the emperor had given him grow, but they never sprouted. Ping didn't want to face the emperor with an empty pot, but his father encouraged him to because he knew his son had tried his best, and that was good enough. The emperor chose Ping as his successor because he admired Ping's great courage to appear before him with the empty truth. This is a story about honesty, courage, perseverance, and trusting oneself. I think my parents wanted me to have these qualities, and that is why they chose to send me to Mount Madonna School, where I think I've successfully acquired these traits. If going to MMS has taught me one thing, it is that you can make something out of anything if you work hard and believe in yourself and the people around you, as Ping did. I've learned this through various experiences at MMS, from performing arts to field trips to playing volleyball. Performing arts has taught me the importance of investing in an experience, even if it isn't your favorite thing to do, and the value of community. I wouldn't say that we are the best singers, dancers, and actors or actresses, but the theater productions that we put on always come out amazing because of the work ethic of the directing team, their belief in us, and the spirit of community. Field trips have taught me to be brave and to look outside of myself. They've also shown me just how much my teachers trust and believe in my classmates and me. I mean, who takes a bunch of 13-year-olds backpacking out in the wilderness or even crazier, a bunch of 17-year-olds across the world to South Africa. Volleyball has taught me to trust others, face challenges head on, and believe in myself. I'd say one of the highlight moments of my 13 years at MMS was winning the Division 5 state volleyball championships this past fall. It's still so surreal to me. I think that we were able to win the state title this year because we were very determined and truly believed in ourselves and one another, and had the best community cheering us on. I don't think that believing in oneself is something that is easy and happens overnight, but is a conscious choice that you have to make every day, and it's also affected by your environment. I am grateful to have attended MMS because I got to have the best classmates, teachers, and coaches anyone could ever ask for. Thank you for supporting and believing in me every step of my journey. You guys really do inspire me and are my driving force in a lot of things I do. Thank you for teaching me to be my best self and for holding me at my worst. Thank you for nurturing my overflowing curiosity and providing a safe place for me to be my authentic self. Thank you for all the precious memories, everlasting relationships, life lessons, and community you have given me. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for providing me with this invaluable education. I love you guys. I will always remember and cherish this experience. I am proud to be a Hawk. That is my full truth.
I was thrilled when I learned about this student's passionate writing, her love of science, and her deep devotion to her family. Thrilled because nothing really surprises me about Haley. More than surprising me, she never ceases to amaze me. Where does a 15-year-old find the depth of passion and commitment that she brought to her portrayal of the Beale Chief? And since that time, I've learned that's just who Haley is, a strong, deeply committed, and generous person. Something that I'm particularly sad about at this time is not getting to see her portray the role of Princess Sita, one in which she would have brought the same compassion and strength that she brings to everything she does. Haley tells me that she would like to be an obstetrician. I'm sure that any birthing mother would welcome Haley's calm and centered demeanor, and any baby would be happy to have Haley's face be the first thing that they see. Don't forget to sing to those mamas and babies, Haley. Congratulations.
Dear Haley, tomorrow is your first day at Mount Madonna School. I know you're scared because you have been homeschooled up until now and are afraid to leave home, but you can do this. The things that scare you right now, like making friends and coming out of your shell, will end up being what makes you the most proud. You wouldn't want to miss being there for the next 7 years. Trust me. You will only really talk to one person for the first year, but from there, everything will get better. You will start becoming friends with more of your classmates who will later become very important parts of your life. By the time you reach high school, there won't be a single person in your class who you won't consider one of your best friends. As you become friends with more people, you will begin to come out of your shell in other areas too, such as in performing arts. You will be so proud of yourself when you finally go for it in senior year and get cast as Princess Sita. Although you won't ever get to put that part on stage, it is still a big accomplishment considering how shy you were when you first came in the 6th grade. School trips are another thing that will scare you in the beginning, and you will feel very homesick. You will end up missing some trips, like freshman year Catalina, because you don't feel ready yet. But with a little push from your friends and teachers, you will take the leap and end up having a great time. When you go on your sophomore year trip to Catalina, it will help you be ready for South Africa in junior year, which will become a highlight of your life. You will meet the sweet kids at Polani and Boccabello, wake up at 6 a.m. to go on a safari, and perform at Tembisa with some of the most talented people you will ever meet, all with your best friends by your side. These memories, along with those at school, such as going swimming in the lake and watching the sunrise with your classmates, will stay with you forever, and you will wish that they hadn't stopped when your senior year is cut short.
You will ignore the fact that your time in Mount Madonna School is coming to an end, because you'll be afraid to admit to yourself that in less than a year you won't be at this school anymore. But then, when school ends 3 months earlier than expected, you will wish that you cherished every moment there just a little bit more. But the making of memories is not over. It is only slowed down for now. You are stronger than you know. Taking this big step in joining this school is going to be so good for you. Trust yourself and everything will be okay. As I am preparing to go off to college, I find myself looking back on my first day of school at Mount Madonna. I was absolutely terrified and thought I wasn't ready, but turns out it was actually perfect timing. The many big steps that I took while at this school are something that I will always be grateful for, but I wouldn't have been able to do it on my own. Mom, Dad, Sol, David, and Amy, thank you so much for believing in me and being there by my side through everything. Your reassurance and love gives me the strength to be the person that I want to be and follow my dreams. To my classmates, thank you for making these 7 years brighter. I love you all so much and I wouldn't have wanted to be here with anybody else. I am so proud of every single one of you and I feel so lucky to have gotten to know you over the years. You are all going to do wonderful things in life and I can't wait to hear about them. Mount Madonna, you have pushed me to grow and become stronger than I ever thought I could be. I will always be grateful and I will miss you very much.
13 years ago, I went to visit Addie in preschool. It was the end of the year and Sarojini and Hema were tidying up and storing things. My son and his friends were sitting on the carpet playing with a toy. There was a cluster of excited little heads and I went over to get in on the action. I found a boy swirling a whirlpool in a clear 2-liter soda bottle through a tornado tube. If he swirled it just right, he got a beautiful cyclone of water glistening and moving in the sunlight like magic. Addie and his friends were enraptured, watching and wanting to get their hands on it. I was about to step in and make sure everyone had a turn, but something stopped me. The boy said, "No, let me do it again." His eyes stared at the swirling water. I swear to this day that differential equations were popping up over the cone of the water and shining behind his eyes. I think he saw that happening. Forward to high school, and there were hurdles and steps he felt unprepared for. He would figure things out with his mind, but a community full of love helped him learn how body and soul work together with the mind. I've heard that this man is now going to study neuropsychology, and I can't imagine a better person to help humanity stride forward in that field, or a better field to help him continue his self-development. Introducing Noah Turvalon. We are so proud of you.
There are points in time that shape you as you grow. Graduations, for example, earning something important like a black belt, or doing something really meaningful like taking a trip to South Africa. And then there are the places and people that you share these moments with. Those places and people are what truly shape you. They help you understand and interpret what you're experiencing and turn it into growth. Mount Madonna has been a place full of people that have helped me get through many of these life-changing experiences. Imagine me about 4 years ago, near the end of February. Picture me as an 8th grader. I was doing typical end of middle school things. Rite of passage, working on my speech, finishing middle school volleyball, and fretting about the first finals I would ever be taking. But on top of that, my parents told me they were getting divorced. They told me on a Friday, so I spent the weekend processing with my aunt and uncle in Oakland. When I came back to school on Monday, I put on a brave face and pretended that everything was fine. Starting that day, I woke up each morning and thought to myself, I will tell my friends today. They can help me get through this. But for 11 days, I said nothing. Finally, on a Wednesday, I worked up the courage to tell people. And when the words, "Guys, my parents are getting divorced," finally came out of my mouth, they were whispered. May was the only one who could hear because she was sitting right next to me, but I remember that the entire class stopped as I burst into tears. Everyone came over and gave me a hug, and the class turned into a mini therapy session. Not that it instantly made me feel any better, but knowing that I was no longer carrying around a secret and that people around me were there to help, as I knew they would be, brought me some solace. At the end of the day, that's what MMS is all about. People taking care of people. I can't count the times in the last 15 years I've spent here that teachers have turned classes into places where we can just talk about our feelings because that's what we needed. That caring spirit is what I am most happy to be taking away with me as I venture out into the world and find other places I would be excited to spend another 15 years.
What language binds humanity together, can cross barriers, borders, or cultures? That language is music. And you, Ksenia, are a master at transcending the language of music. In South Africa, you led your classmates with songs and created community with beautiful music from your ukulele and voice. You also led with presence, confidence, and grace. Ksenia, you are what I refer to as a quadruple threat. You are a leader, an academic, an artist, and a musician. You are a fierce advocate with a sharp intellect, but also kind, empathetic, and a great friend. For the past 5 years, I have watched you grow into a strong woman, an academic powerhouse, a driven contender who asks the hard questions, and someone who owns her space. I know your desire to be an anesthesiologist will be a goal well within your reach, as will any other profession or goal you set your mind to. I am excited for the future and to see what your contributions will be. I am excited to see how you will inspire the next generation, and I have no doubt you will continue to inspire me. Our school, your classmates, and your teachers are better for having been a part of your life. My sincere gratitude, Ksenia, for allowing us to be part of your incredible journey.
Graduation is a time to move on. It is a time to celebrate and say, we did it, we made it. But as we look forward to the future and what it has in store for us, let us not forget about the past experiences who have helped shape us into the people we are today. This song is dedicated to those memories. Hey, you've been so kind. Won't you stay? always, darling, it's okay. Promise you won't fade away. Yes, I swear that that's the truth. This is the ode to my youth.
Becoming, a process of evolving and growing towards something. Underneath her reserved demeanor and calm poise, Jonakai Willis has a solid strength and a simmering passion for justice. This time at Mount Madonna School has been a time of building up and bubbling up as you wait to surprise all of us and maybe even yourself with what you are capable of. Jonakai's role models and inspirations, whether historical, musical, or familial, are all strong women, and their voices clearly inform her outlook, her commitments, and her inner confidence. When called to a particular interest or passion, Jonakai easily finds authority to speak up for the right thing and to call upon others to do the same. On the class trip to South Africa, Jonakai was inspired by their dynamic choir leader, Tulani, who she called a magic maker, and noted that he is not the kind of person who gets respect by yelling, but he gets it from showing people what they can do. Jonakai, as you step into the bigger world, you are becoming that magic maker.
In the fall, I will be attending Pace University, a big school smack dab in the middle of Lower Manhattan, and quite a change from the tiny school in the mountain I've been at for the past 4 years. I remember the first time I came to Mount Madonna freshman year as a tall, nervous 13-year-old, so worried about all the crazy high school fights that I had stayed up till 4 a.m. YouTubing just to see what high school would be like. A few hours later, I was very surprised to be surrounded by the rest of my freshman class, all of them giving me hugs and asking me if I was excited to start high school. My classmates were the same people who I would later share some amazing experiences with. From falling out of river rafts to flying almost 30 hours to get to South Africa, I can't believe we're all parting ways after sharing so much together. During my junior year at Mount Madonna, my sister and I left for 6 months to attend an international school in Kingston, Jamaica. At the time, I was nervous to go to a whole new country, a whole new school, have to make new friends, and even wear uniforms, which was a crazy thing considering Mount Madonna barely even has a dress code. But living there was the first time I truly felt myself grow as a person. I overcame so many of my fears and little things that were holding me back from discovering the person that I wanted to become. There I made some of my best friends, experienced the depths and beauty of Jamaican culture, had my first love, even got a concussion from getting hit on the head by a ceiling fan. There are quite a few situations concerning racial insensitivity at Mount Madonna. As a student of color, me and my family have had a rocky relationship with this school. However, I am appreciative of the work that's being done to improve education about race among the students and staff, and make me feel comfortable as a Black student and for those students of color in upcoming classes. All of these little things that have made up my high school experience have prepared me to walk through those big glass doors of Pace University and expect a trail of endless opportunities. So thank you, Mount Madonna, my parents, my classmates, my family, and many more for such an interesting high school experience.
Rosemary for remembrance, fern for health, acorn for wisdom, and redwood for perseverance. These are plants of the mountain that I collected for you. Plants have long held symbolism and story. The balm of Gilead, Narcissus and the pool, Ophelia's flowers. The tiny specimen in the redwood cone will eventually become the largest trees in the forest, known to reach heights of 350 feet and survive for 2,000 years. You love plants, it's true, and your continuous positive growth and perseverance remind me of plants. You have learned to keep smiling, to lean towards the light. You work hard and never seem to doubt yourself. And so your growth is powerful and fast and inspiring to behold. When you had to miss school for health reasons, through social media, we saw you caring for your carnivorous plants, and we knew you were persevering. You are authentically you, Aaron Saveja, living with your heart and your mind wide open. And I am so excited to see the heights you will reach.
Thank you for coming to my virtual graduation. While this isn't the graduation that I had imagined, I'm extremely thankful for the graduation committee that put this all together in such short notice. My time here at Mount Madonna started when I was just 3 years old. My childhood years on the mountain were magical. I remember climbing trees, building forts, playing in the rock pile, breaking Noah's arms, and collecting acorns like it was yesterday. These memories growing up have shaped my life and will always stay with me. My many years on the mountain have inspired my love for the natural world. As many of you know, I've been passionate about the cultivation of carnivorous plants throughout all of high school, and being outside on the mountain has helped spark my appreciation of the beauty of plants. A major moment that helped define me was the decision to come back to Mount Madonna School after a year of homeschooling due to illness. Returning would only be possible if I wore a face mask that filtered the air that I breathe. On my first day back, I was extremely nervous and was worried about what people would think about me. Thankfully, I instantly found my friends and started my first day of high school. Although at first, some people stared or understandably had questions, it was clear that people were accepting of my situation. I was worried that my mask would change everything, but I was pleasantly surprised to see that my life at school was astonishingly normal. There are times where I've had lengthy absences due to my health and I've had to do schoolwork from home, but during these times, I've always had an overwhelming amount of support from my friends and my teachers. I have had teachers come to my house to proctor finals and sometimes even just help me catch up on new subjects. What I have learned from this is the importance of not giving up when times are tough. I have become resilient, resourceful, and I have the tools to help me in college and beyond. There has been no moment of my time here at Mount Madonna School where I did not feel fully supported by the community. Thank you.
This lifer is a set of Calvin contradictions. He enjoys being the center of attention, but strives not to be noticed. He's exceedingly capable, but prefers spirited debate to an end product. He can make you double over laughing in jokes about everything, but then wonders why people don't take him seriously. Jeremy is a young man on a quest to find out what the world is really about and has to offer, but only if he can do it from the comfort of his own perspective. Jeremy, you are a gifted artist, sharp intellect, and hysterical comedian with talents ready to burst forth. My wish for you is that you find the passion you so desperately seek and throw yourself into it. I look forward to smiling and saying, I knew him, when your gifts burst free of their youthful hesitation. Jeremy, may you and Hobbs continue your adventures together.
I have been a part of Mount Madonna School basically since I could walk. Now, after over 12 years, I can still remember just how special my early education here was. From the utilization of the forest in the hands-on curriculum, to the 5th grade conservation project, and backpacking trip. It seemed like there was always something new to look forward to, the next big trip or experience. The fact that this school gives access to these sorts of big experiences, I think, is a big part of why I've stayed all these years. As an extrovert, I think I have truly benefited from the multitude of ways Mount Madonna has prioritized bringing people together, even if I didn't always appreciate it at the time. Now, as I'm about to graduate, I have a myriad of emotions, and I'm not sure how to make sense of them. The first thing I realized going into this process was that I have a bit of bitterness. Outside of the amazing trips and bonding moments, I struggled a lot with the day-to-day. I had confrontations with faculty and struggled to relate to the general attitude. I'm glad, though, that I was able to reflect on this initial reaction, because that is far from the sum of the time I've spent here. I can say with complete confidence that I would not have been the same person had I not gone to this school. Mount Madonna has shaped who I am and who I will become as a person. Though I can't describe to you now who that person is, I know that with age and wisdom, the experiences I've gained here will continue to come back into my life. I just need time to process it all. But for now, I'm graduating and couldn't be happier. I'm starting my life, and I'm hopefully going to find everything I'm searching for. And I sincerely wish everyone here luck finding it as well. To the lifelong friends I've made here, it's been a ride, and I'm glad we all met. To my mom and dad, thanks for always supporting me, even when I made it hard. To my grandma, I would not be here if it wasn't for you.
What makes a champion? Champions have big dreams and great confidence. Champions know their strengths and they know their weaknesses. Champions show a willingness to learn, to adapt. Champions make sacrifices and show discipline. Their mindsets are flexible and strong. They are mentally adept and resilient. Champions strive for excellence and look for that in others. Champions are not only leaders, but they believe in and encourage others when they need it most. We have been fortunate enough to have an excellent example of a champion within our senior class. She helped her team to a CIF Division 5 state title in volleyball, was awarded the Small Schools Player of the Year in the whole state of California, the first MMS track and field athlete to continue on to CCS finals, leading our league in multiple events, a featured athlete of the week in the local news, and countless other incredible achievements. But this champion behavior extends far beyond her stellar athleticism. It extends in how she shows up, how she brings others in, how she inspires. Paula Andrea Jacobs, you are a treasure, a shining light, a beacon of honesty and authenticity. You always look for the opportunity to learn and grow. You are so self-aware and at the same time sensitive to the big picture. An advocator of fun and lightheartedness, and in this time of uncertainty, a voice of reason. A TikTok queen and my favorite school dance partner. Paula Andrea Jacobs, you are my champion, mi campeona. I am so honored to have been a part of your journey and honored to call you a dear friend.
I came to Mount Madonna in the 4th grade from a public school. I wanted something new and different. And as a kid, you're nomadic in a way, always looking for the next big thing to satisfy your curiosity about the world. Coming here satisfied my need for some time, until I wanted new and exciting things to happen that I felt weren't happening. All throughout middle school, I wanted to go to public school to experience bigger classes and more people. One phrase you can't escape from every teacher saying is, trust the process. This didn't meet my satisfaction from hearing it for the first time, and several times after. I thought it was tacky, cheesy, and unreasonable. I never heard trust the process from anyone outside of Mount Madonna. As years went on, I began to understand that what I was looking for was right in front of me. And because I didn't trust this process at first, I was closed off to seeing the good that would come my way. I've realized that always looking for the next best thing isn't always the best choice. It's easy to not fully appreciate the things we have because we're always reaching for something we think will be better when really it's right in front of us. During high school, I was able to understand the importance of where I was. Part of the switch from not wanting to go here to being completely happy where I was had to do with trusting another process that I believe in 100%, which is the development of the teenage brain. As I grew older, I became more mature and saw that my actions had consequences. I started seeing all the positives that I had going for me, and because of this switch of mindset, I was open to new experiences. I was able to enjoy my time here and be trusting in my process of growth. Through everything I did here, I felt like I learned how to be a better version of myself. South Africa taught me to love and appreciate people I meet in my life. Playing on a volleyball team, I've learned a lot about being a teammate, staying positive and supportive no matter what. I was being shaped by this whole process of me trusting and letting go of the fear of what might happen. I feel like I've grown, and I want to thank my parents for seeing before I did that keeping me here was the best fit for me. I know you worked really hard for me to be where I am, and I know it wasn't easy because I was a pain about it. But I am so grateful for everything you've done because I don't think I could be any more ready than I am to go out into the real world. I don't know what kind of person I would have been without these experiences. So thank you, Mom and Dad. We tend to appreciate things when they are gone, and I was lucky enough to have appreciated my time when I still had it. If I hadn't let myself trust this process, I wouldn't have been able to have formed such deep connections within my class, with people outside of it, and people across the world. I'm thankful for everyone who has made my time so special. I'm really going to miss all of it. I'm excited to take what I've learned with me on my own journey. I know wherever I end up, I want to find a community who accepts and cares for me the way this one does. And to my fellow classmates, we did it. I love you guys so much, and I can't wait to see what amazing things you all are going to do. We've arrived to this day, not only because we trusted, but we stuck with the process.
I would love to be the life of the party. And if I were the life of the party, I would love to be the kind of person who makes absolutely everyone feel included in the fun. From the moment this student walked into my class, I knew it was going to be fun. And I knew I would get to be part of it rather than held at an arm's distance. This is a student who would keep an old teacher up to date on what was true and beautiful and interesting and hilarious for the new generation, and I am so grateful for that. Maverick, you are exceptionally gifted. Your creative sensibility and drive and your ability to transform a room or the overlook or the forest or the beach or the underwater universe on Catalina with your enthusiasm are unparalleled. You have overcome hurdles in school with your work ethic and kind ability to collaborate with everyone. I should honor your rebel spirit conversely by wearing a three-piece suit, and you know why. I will miss your honest and straightforward way of processing everything that occurs, and I will very much miss your uncanny ability to extend your circle to whoever needs to feel included. I can't wait to see what your bright future holds. Introducing Maverick Betancourt.
Ever since I was born, I was drawn to this material. The complexity of all the materials combined, the ability to sculpt whatever you want. Dirt, what a beautiful thing. I remember being young and looking at dirt and it having endless possibilities. I would create giant castles and make delicious mud pies. One time at my elementary school during the winter, there was a hole filled with mud, so much that you could swim in it. So I decided to jump in with all my clothes on. During school, I knew this was a great idea. But then the outcome is when my dad came to pick me up. He made me strip down to my underwear in front of the whole school, and then he began washing me with the hose. Oh, how embarrassing that was. But do I regret exploring? Heck to the no. Dirt is like life in a sense. I have to decide what I want to do with the rest of my long, boring life. But I have a choice to make it interesting. I can explore and find the interest, because for sure I'm not taking the easy way out. I will never stop exploring. Dirt has given me the ability to trust my instinct, even if I fail in the end. I will always learn something. Thinking back to the days of being a young one and thinking about who I want to be as an adult got me thinking about thankfulness. Becoming a responsible adult is not as easy as it sounds, even if I have dirt to guide me. Every family member in my life has always tried so hard for me. My family knew it would be a struggle with my high energy and my dyslexia, but my mom and my dad have never stopped fighting for me, and they have always given me the best life they have could. I love you for everything you've given me, and you guys are my rock. I am thankful for everything, even if I don't show it. If I lose my way one day, remind me, you are dirt, son. You are dirt, because dirt is a beautiful thing.
Distinguished delegates, guests, and future world leaders, it is an honor to address the Mount Madonna General Assembly today. I am here to acknowledge a truly remarkable leader, diplomat, and peace builder, the delegate from Corralitos, Tabitha Hardin-Zolo. Today is a celebration of the journey that Tabby has made and will continue to make as a scholar, an athlete, and a citizen activist. Tabby never enters a room, a situation, or a game without a strong sense of purpose. Here she comes, I would say, as she burst into the room without even a hello. Did you hear about this? Or, so, this is what I think. The goal of education has been to empower you to take control of your own destiny and to participate fully in the global community. Tabby, with your passion for justice and equality, as well as your plans for solving the injustices and inequalities of disease, this is truly your moment, your calling. The problems of the world are vast and overwhelming and outrageous. Nevertheless, she persisted.
In the middle of my sophomore year, I was given a choice. I could either return to MMS for my last 2 years of high school or leave. There were a lot of reasons for me to leave, and there were a lot of reasons I wanted to leave. But 2 things kept me here. 1, the relationships that I've built with my classmates and teachers, and 2, the opportunities like South Africa that I would be missing out on. I went back and forth. However, there was a moment when I knew. Everyone was rehearsing for Romina in the gym, and I had just watched the DC presentation. I don't know what it was, but I knew I could not get it anywhere else. That indescribable feeling was enough for me to stay. That feeling of connection and support from all angles. I'm so thankful I stayed. From going to South Africa and having a truly life-altering experience to the everyday interactions and comfort of walking around campus, I'm grateful for the moments I've had here. I would have never played volleyball if it was not for this school. And so many of the paths I have taken as a student at MMS and will continue to take as a college student are because of this game. Volleyball is the reason for many of my closest friendships. Without it, Paul and I would have never become roller coaster buddies. Savannah and I wouldn't have realized we were literally the same person. And though I think she was scared of me at first, Liana became a true light in my life. I would not be who I am today without every teammate, practice, game, early morning, long day, loss, or win. Thank you, volleyball. Anmei and I weren't really friends in the 4th grade, but I eventually made her one-person bus seat into a two-person, and that would remain until we were both driving. This is because Mount Madonna forces you to be with people. And most of the time, those people become some of the most important people in your life. 2 boys made fun of my Little Mermaid rolly backpack, and though they continue to make fun of me every day, I couldn't ask for anything more. When Cece joined our class, I wasn't thrilled, but now that we're about to be 3,126 miles apart, our ups and downs at MMS have prepared us for it. In our interview with Pregsgevinder in South Africa, she said, "Being conscious while you do changes the content of what you do." These words have stuck with me, and I have tried to live by them, just as many other moments and experiences at MMS have. I feel as though during this time of reflection upon my experiences and relationships, I've been able to be conscious of that decision to stay 2 years ago. I do not know or want to know where I would be had I left, because I believe that my time here has been critical into shaping the person I am today. I believe that the consciousness that we have gained as MMS students has given us the power to fight the injustice we see cluttering our nation and world. Thank you to my teachers and classmates for being that indescribable feeling that kept me here. But most importantly, thank you to my grandparents and parents. I'm grateful for every sacrifice you have made for me and being the reason I was able to stay. I hope to make you proud as a college student and citizen of the world. Thank you.
Art, music, family, friends, equality, justice, acceptance, creativity. These words are a snapshot into this remarkable young person. I first met her on a hot summer day on the mountain. The kind of day where the air feels heavy and the lack of activity creates an expansive silence. She came looking for something different than she currently had, and I was struck by her clarity of purpose and strong sense of self. In the 4 years since interviewing Rowan Davenport Smith for a place at Mount Madonna School, my admiration for her independence, intelligence, and loyalty has only increased. I admire how she's shown up in the classroom, on the stage, and as a leader in our GSA club. Laura Liswood, who we interviewed last month, said that one part of being a strong leader is having a true north. Over the 4 years that I have known Rowan, she has clearly demonstrated that she has a true north. I wish her luck on the next stage of her journey and know that her true north will be her guide.
Dr. Momfela Ramfele said to us, "In my family, you cannot distinguish who is the child, the cousin, or the sibling because we are one." To me, this quote perfectly suits all of us here at Mount Madonna. We are students, classmates, teachers, and peers, but first, we are a family, and we are one. I have matured as a person more in these past 4 years than in all of my 18 years of living. And I am grateful to be lucky enough to have done it with these amazing people. I've been able to watch as my classmates have grown into extraordinary people, and although we have yet to separate, I am already anticipating the day when we meet again. I know that they will be awe-inspiring people with great wisdom to share, just like all of the people who we've met and who have shared their wisdom with us. "To be secure in who you are is the mark of wisdom," said Milan Vivir. Over these past few years here at Mount Madonna, I have had the opportunity to meet and speak to some of the most incredible people. From senators to teachers, many have inspired me to become my best self. These extraordinary people have imparted their wisdom upon me, and many are probably listening right now. Unfortunately, today I am unable to offer you any wise parting words of my own. But today marks the start of my own journey in life. With the foundation that I've built here, I will traverse this life with an open mind, and I hope that when our paths next cross, I will have the right words to share with you. As I wrap this up, I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank those who inspired me. I want to thank those who supported me. But I also want to thank those who acted as a roadblock in my life and presented me with challenges, because although my life probably would have gone a lot smoother without you, I wouldn't be the person I am today if it wasn't for you. Thank you.
His vision is seeing the seam in the paint. His knowledge is the knowing that courage is quiet. His wonder is curious, creative. He plays to the beats. His love is the flight from his toes to the lights, to the rock and the round. It is my pleasure to introduce from the class of 2020, a great Mount Madonna basketball guard, a fine young man, Given.
After all these years, it is finally time. Even though this is the end, it is also the beginning. It's finally time to graduate and begin what I've been waiting for all these years. But the beginning has to start in 2020, the worst year ever, and all this chaos is going on. A very wise man, probably the wisest, once said, "Sometimes life is like this tunnel. You can't always see the light at the end of the tunnel, but if you keep moving, you will come to a better place." Although we are in these dark times and it seems like we can't see the light at the end, but if we keep our heads up and keep moving, we will get out of it. These days in quarantine have also reminded me of the past and many memories that I've had with my peers and friends here at Mount Madonna. Like during the rafting trip in 10th grade, when I thought it was for sure the end, when I fell out of my raft going down the infamous tunnel chute, or when we solved the case of the Black Rhino Lodge killer down in South Africa. Another fond memory was in 9th grade when we were in Catalina, specifically Monsoon, the boys' cabin, where we went to sleep starving every night because of all the intense snorkeling and gaga ball brawling. Anyway, thinking of the past has helped me get through the present, and now I need to get ready for my future because what's next is going to be a big difference. Mount Madonna has been a big chunk of time in my life. Now I'm moving on. Just remember, life happens wherever you are, whether you make it or not.
There are two sides to every story, just as there are two sides to the camera, photographer and subject. Fiona Bartlett Burgess may seem quiet or shy upon first meeting. Certainly, I don't think I heard a peep from her all of freshman year. But if Fiona often lets others take the center stage, it is because she is meticulously observing and absorbing every detail around her. Every gesture, every word, every expression, spoken and unspoken. It makes sense that Fiona finds meaning through photography, which requires a patient stillness in order to fully see the truth. You often wonder, Fiona, whether what you have to say is worth contributing, but you bring an attention to detail and a unique perspective to all of your efforts, whether in writing, creative work, or in your friendships. As a future diplomat, in the broadest sense, whether as a career or just a way of being in the world, I know you will always seek to see all sides of the story. Keep directing your curious gaze toward illuminating the truths of the world.
Dear Bunka, 4 years ago, we sat together watching Nathan graduate from Mount Madonna School. that day I committed to go to this school, and while the details of the day are lost, I remember the speeches. So truly unique to Mount Madonna that every student has their voice heard during the graduation ceremony. It was unthinkable that one day I would be up on the same stage, or that I would be able to speak as eloquently as they did. Yet, here I am, 4 years later. What once seemed so far away has come too quickly. I don't know if I would be the person I am now if I hadn't made the choice that day to attend the tiny school up in the mountains. The time I've spent here has given me so many opportunities that I never would have seen at other schools, and I've been given the gift of finding true worth in my words. While I stand here today proud of how far I've come and grateful for the experiences I've gained at Mount Madonna School, there's one thing missing: you. It's because I can't read this to you that I write it for you. The beginning, freshman and sophomore year, were times of great discovery and growth. I stumbled my way through a 2-year attempt at volleyball. From that, I learned that my hand-eye coordination was non-existent, but I grew from the support of my team and classmates. Of course, you were there too, cheering the loudest at every game, and my biggest fan. I don't think I ever told you how much that meant to me. Sophomore year, I gained confidence in myself and felt supported by the community around me to go after the things that interested me. I love to run, so I joined track. In English, I took an assignment as an opportunity to write about my passion for social justice, winning an honorable mention in a national competition. And as you know, one of the greatest teachers I have ever had inspired me to join Model UN and grow my interest in politics. Junior year was eagerly anticipated. We were going to South Africa. Our whole class worked hard, both academically and to raise money for the amazing people that we would get to meet in South Africa. And you were there to help as you baked countless cookies for our fundraiser and once again cheered us on to meet our goals. What I hadn't anticipated was you getting sick. The diagnosis was made just weeks before we left. As we closed the front door to leave for the airport, I knew that my real goodbyes would happen miles away from you. I don't know if I will ever forgive myself for not being with you till the end. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you couldn't see all the amazing moments of my senior year, and I'm sorry that you can't stand beside me as I read this, so that I could tell you how Mount Madonna gave me the chance and encouragement to pursue all that excites and inspires me. As I embark on the next part of my journey, I want to be able to share the moments that lie ahead and show you who I become. I want you to know that I'm going to Boston University to study international relations, and I plan to make an impact on the world. I want you to know that I promise to cheer on the Red Sox and the Patriots, even though Tom Brady left. And I want to tell you how much you inspire me. You are the embodiment of love, hard work, and determination. You continue to motivate me every day, and I promise to always make you proud. And finally, I want you to know that I miss you, and I'm so incredibly thankful for you. Love, Fiona.
This student emanates the power to lift others. When I first met her, she would often be in a nurturing hug from her parents or one of her sisters. Now she shares that compassion with others. She earned the Consistent Voice Award for her unrelenting fight and her support of her teammates, and has created bonds of friendship that will last for years to come. Congratulations, Tessa. You've completed a rigorous high school education, and you have embodied the intrinsic lesson of selfless service, which is the foundation of our pillar of positive character development. I hope you continue to be brave and to keep your heart open. Today, the world is filled with rifts that need mending and people who need lifting. Tessa, you've shown the power to protect and to heal and to bring people together. Thank you for everything you've brought to our community. It is my honor to introduce Tessa Madrid Ortiz.
Mount Madonna School is somewhere I have been able to fight my challenges. Here, I can engage with my classmates through experiences and be inspired to continue having new experiences in my life. The teachers often can connect with students on a more personal level than in other schools. This type of engagement has shaped my views as a person. This will help me confidently approach my professors in college. My class knows me to be a bit standoffish, very quiet, but once they got to know me and they saw my true self, I became more comfortable with this group of people. I think my greatest challenge was getting past a lot of these walls that I've built up in the last few years. In my time here, I've been challenged to get out of my comfort zone in many different ways, such as doing song share in performing arts. I think that even though performing arts and requirements to give speeches in other classes was challenging for me, I think it helped us learn public speaking. I know that this group of people that I should be with today are in my heart. I'll forever be grateful for the group of people that are in my class. And to the grades below me, there are many people I love. I want to inspire them and tell them that I will remember the privilege of being on JV volleyball team this year as a senior. I told people that having an on-court and off-court attitude is the same as performing on stage. You might forget your line for a moment, and so you have to come up with a new line that works with the story. And to present your best self, even if that means faking it, let the emotion out. I was inspired by my coaches to grow through leading this team, and it was my first chance to be a captain. My goal on that team was not to think about myself, but to help the younger players learn. I call the younger students my littles. I enjoy looking out for the younger kids at school that have connected with me in some way, such as through the buddy program. And to my littles, you know who you are. I want the best for you. And for the girls on that team, I love you guys so much. I've kept every note that I could. And I love you all.
Leon Panetta once said, "Go forward knowing that you are greater than the challenges of your time." This student has come to be a strong leader, not just someone who enjoys others' attention. They strive to be a good friend, but do so quietly, not to gain favor, but simply because they're kind at heart and generous. They've struggled with internal and external challenges, but rarely show their impact, preferring to navigate quietly and independently. This student has a dry and extremely witty humor. Beware, he is always watching and listening. He appreciates the outdoors, enjoying camping, kayaking, and hiking, but is just as comfortable in front of his computer screen and game console. He occasionally shows his vulnerable side, but prefers to do so in writing, which is often moving and always insightful. Braden is going on to study diplomacy and international relations at Seton Hall next year. Braden has grown into a young adult who embodies the values of a well-balanced man in today's world. If there's anyone who's poised to go forward and be greater than the challenges of his time, it's Braden Will.
Welcome, salutations, and hello to you and yours wherever you may be. Today is the big day. Everybody in their seats. All the best speakers start their speeches with a quote. And even though I technically started, I'm going to do one anyway. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't slow down and look around every once in a while, you can miss it. What better of a quote for a graduation speech? Now is the time that I should slow down from the wild ride of high school and take a slow stroll down memory lane.
see the sights and attractions while they are still fresh in my mind, and before encountering other distractions yet ahead on the road. But I've been sitting at home for the past few months with nothing better to do than think and reflect on better days with friends and the adventures that we had. So I'll keep it brief. 13 years in Mount Madonna, and you start to see the scenery. My parents always liked to take me hiking, and so I came to know every trail, nook, and cranny of the mountain. Impressions left in my mind of forts built across the mountain, adventures had, and laughter heard. There's a bittersweet of leaving the place I grew up. I can't thank you enough, Mom and Dad, for everything you've done for me. I hope to take so much with me as I move forward, but there's also so much which is going to stay when I leave. From the boys' state champion volleyball team, which never was, to the bonfires which were never lit. For all the teachers and faculty who helped me along the way, my greatest of thanks. But before I officially end my high school adventure, I'm here. When I was little, this day, graduation, seemed like the horizon, impossible to reach. Now here I stand, poised on the edge, looking into the unknown, preparing to take my jump and find a new horizon to chase. As Dr. Seuss said, "Kid, you'll move mountains."
There is a kind of education that relies on fear and ruling by the stick. The stick being the place you land in an orderly database. It's dehumanizing. Rather than nurturing creativity and deep thinking, schools like that encourage living a double life. I've never seen the tragedy of it plainer than on the face of this student when she found us, because she is a person who will always thrive on open, honest collaboration. She's honest, vocal, advocates for herself and others, and has the often overlooked strength that exists in emotional vulnerability. I learned so much about my own teaching by having her in my room with the simple courage to speak up whenever I was not being clear. I learned. Thank you. There is no way that injustice or bad teaching, for example, will exist in a space that she inhabits. It was a privilege to see her confidence grow and grow over the years, both on the stage and in the classroom, and with her many friends. For an empath and an honest soul, this storm we are in has really thrown the boat around, and Rachel, my wish for you going forward is that you flourish, surrounded by justice and truth and love in a recovering world and at a wonderful school. It is my honor to introduce Rachel Burgess.
Class of 2020. This is not the moment we waited for, but it's our moment. Our moment to reflect back and look to the future. When I look back, I see that a lot of things at Mount Madonna School made me happier, healthier, more capable, and more confident in myself. When I first came to Mount Madonna School in 9th grade, I was really insecure and doubted myself and my abilities. Even though I still have work to do in that area, being here has helped me a lot. The friends, support systems, learning journeys, Mount Madonna has given me so many opportunities. And it is a school where I formed the friendships that will last my lifetime, and I found my interest in science. I explored the world beyond the mountain at Model UN, Catalina, South Africa, and Costa Rica. Thank you to all my teachers here who have pushed me, loved me, supported me, and have helped me become who I am. Sarah, you were the toughest on me in the most loving of ways, and that pushed me to be my best, both in the classroom and on the track. Sid, you helped me discover that I like math and that I can do it. Telling me good job when I got an A on my first math test was the best thing ever. Silva, you always remind me that we don't have to be the world's best at something in order to make an important contribution. You helped me believe I was good enough and that I matter. Tiffany, you made learning fun. You remind me that school's success is not measured on tests, but in the depth of understanding. You helped me learn about cultures and worlds beyond myself and made me want to continue learning. Thank you to my friends and family, my mom and dad. I will never be able to repay you for your unconditional love and support, but I'll always be thankful. My final thank you is for Bunka. I know you may no longer be here physically, but I can still hear you cheering me on wherever you may be. You are always my #1 fan. Thank you. While this is not the moment I expected, it is my moment. The next chapter in my book where one phase ends and another begins. While I don't know for sure how the future will unfold, I do know that I plan to carry all I learned here at Mount Madonna School into the future. Class of 2020, this is our moment.
Santa Maria! Those were the last words I thought I would ever hear on this earth as Connor barreled into me before we were thrown from our raft at the top of Tunnel Chute and then free fell down a Class 4 waterfall. When I think of Connor's journey at Mount Madonna, I think of amazing discussions and presentations. Who else can cover tardigrades, ostriches, and utensils with passion and gusto? I picture Connor being awestruck when swimming with leopard sharks at Catalina. I picture Connor jumping up and down on the back bumper of the van to free us from the mud in Costa Rica. I picture watching the sun rise over Connor's head while on safari in South Africa as he kept us laughing so hard my stomach hurt. I picture Connor walking into my class and immediately saying, "So Silva," and then proceeding to tell me something obscure and utterly amazing. Connor is the student Mount Madonna strives to help create. Engaged, curious, creative, and positive. Connor is one of those people who leave you smiling and feeling better about the world. Whatever Connor decides to pursue after his departure from Mount Madonna, it will be filled with puns, random facts, and funny stories. It will be filled with the human being who lights up a room. It is my great pleasure to introduce to you Connor Murphy.
This speech since I left the podium from 8th grade graduation. There is so much that I want to say. Like, I want to talk about how I ad-libbed my last speech and how performing arts prepared me to be a great speaker. I mean, there's a million inside jokes that should be addressed. But every time I sit down and actually try and write the speech, I get 2 or 3 sentences in and I stop. I think the reason that I can't finish this speech is because as much as I want to move on to that next stage in life, I'm not ready for this one to end. Well, here we are, beyond the boundary of what I've written before, and I am at a loss for where to go. I mean, this is how I'm supposed to feel, right? I'm not supposed to know all the answers. Right now, I'm an adventurer who has reached the end of the known world. The known world. Now, what does that remind you of? The hero's journey, right? If we follow that, we can see that I am here, the 5th stop on the hero's journey, crossing the threshold. But wait, only the 5th stop. That doesn't feel right. I mean, I've done so much. This feels like an ending, right? An ending. That thing everyone says about high school, right? This is not the beginning of the end, this is the end of the beginning. I don't have to get all sappy and emotional. I just have to make a promise. A little reminder to all the people who I should be standing on a stage with. You matter. More than you will ever know. All of you have impacted and changed my life. I mean, frankly, I don't want that to stop. There is no way I could keep procrastinating and then stay up working on homework till 2 a.m. one night if you guys weren't there to give me a safe ride to school the next morning. I can't keep talking like a walking thesaurus if you guys wouldn't take the time to try and understand me. I can't go backpacking without my backpacking boy. And I am so busy these days. And if it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't take the time to enjoy the things I love. If it weren't for you laughing at my stupid jokes, I wouldn't labor under the misapprehension that I'm funny. Okay, so it's not all good things, but still. To the people who have given me so much, remember this. This is not an ending. This is not the last time we'll see each other. The little lesson that school teaches everyone is this. While being confident in yourself is a good thing, a little help from others can be a great blessing. Thanks to all my friends and amazing teachers, I have lived a blessed life. Thanks.
Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear?
So let that lonely feeling wash away. Maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. 'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can reach out your hand. And someone will come running, and I know they'll take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. Lift your head and look around, you will be found. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found.
There's a place we don't have to feel alone.
And every time that you call out, you're a little less alone. If you only say the word, from across the silence, your voice is heard. Oh, someone will come running. Someone will come running. Someone will come running to take you home. To take you home. Even when the darkness crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, you'll reach up and you'll rise again. If you'll only look around, you will be found. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found. Out of the shadows,
Good day, everyone. It is my privilege to present the diplomas to our graduates today. But first, I'd like to share with them a letter. Dear graduating class of 2020, this year is like no other that I can personally recall in 43 years of education. Your group will be forever bonded not only by your years of unique MMS experiences, but also by the fortitude and adaptability required of you now. Today, we celebrate you with words and symbols of appreciation and recognition. Please know that you are loved by many at MMS, and at some future date, we will all stand in line for a graduation hug. We are now conferring the diplomas for the successful completion of high school to you, the class of 2020. The diploma is a symbol of something very profound. It is a symbol of hard work and striving. It is a symbol of accomplishment and growth. It is a symbol of important life passages. Through this ritual of graduation and the granting of the diploma, we are publicly recognizing you and your changing status from childhood to adulthood. We acknowledge that you have learned, questioned, and dialogued with us about positive values and the virtues that create a life of meaning. We acknowledge that you are trusted to hold, practice, contribute, and preserve these positive values. We acknowledge that you are prepared for life's responsibilities and challenges. We welcome you as adults who we love, honor, and respect. You are always a part of the Mount Madonna School family. Congratulations and much love, Supriya. The following students are being granted their diplomas as we picture each one in our mind's eye. They will receive their diplomas later on this afternoon. So, alphabetical by first name, as is Mount Madonna fashion. Aaron Joseph Saavedra. Anmay Neha Dasbach Prisk. Braden Michael Will. Cecilia Cayenne Rothman Salado. Connor Aiden Murphy. Fiona Carol Bartlett Burgess. Haley Kerr. Janakai Elizabeth Willis. Jeremy Terrence Burns Kurland. Ksenia Viktorova Medvedeva. Maverick Garrison Betancourt. Noah Raymond Turvalon. Paula Andrea Jacobs. Rachel Maureen Bartlett Burgess. Roby Given Rahani. Rowan Davenport Smith. Catherine Harding Zolo. Tessa Madrid Ortiz. And now, graduates, if you'll please stand wherever you are, make sure your tassel is on the right side of your cap, and by the power vested in me by the Mount Madonna School Board of Directors and the state of California, I now pronounce you graduates of Mount Madonna School. Congratulations, one and all.
Just stop your crying, it's a sign of the times. Welcome to the final show. I hope you're wearing your best clothes. You can't bribe the door on your way to the sky. You look pretty good down here, but you ain't really good. We never learned we've been here before. Why are we always stuck and running from the bullets? The bullets. We never learned we've been here before. Why are we always stuck and running from the bullets? The bullets. Just stop your crying, it's a sign of the times. We gotta get away from here. We gotta get away from here. Just stop your crying, it'll be alright. They told me that the end is near. We gotta get away from here. Just stop your crying, have the time of your life. Breaking through the atmosphere, and things are pretty good from here. Remember, everything will be alright. We can meet again somewhere, somewhere far away from here. We never learned we've been here before. Why are we always stuck and running from We gotta get away from here. We gotta